Giant power droid. You believe the kind of things you find in the back of a comic book store? Yeah, you can. This is a face hugger. I didn't just have balls on my face. That was one time, and it was college, and I needed the money. But now this is FFFIC, and we are once again playing with stuff we should not be in the back of famous faces and funnies and get your fun on. And I am Sebastian from investcomics.com, and we have comic books to review as soon as I catch my breath, because you have no idea how long I was wearing that stupid face hugger while we set everything up. I may have put it on a little earlier than I needed to, but it was a face hugger. Who could not? But really, seriously? Seriously? Giant power droid? Giant power droid? I feel like I'm promoting something, except I'm not. They just got a giant power droid in their weird box of what the hell leftovers that they get from something. And I just want to play with a giant power droid. Look at that guy. I think there were models on set smaller than that. You know, back when they made models for Star Wars movies before it was a green screen and 4-hour pod chases. Alright. Let's grab a stack of books. Hey, I found one. Conveniently placed nearby. Let's start off with Dynamite. Little Sonia. It's like Red Sonia, only littler. And it's fun, and it's funny. And we got Jim Zub and Joel Carroll doing the writing and the art. You got a big red dragon who collects everything red. I think he's called the Crimson Dragon or something. He's the Ginger Dragon. That's what he is. He collects everything red. So he stole, like, socks and clothes and all the redheaded kids from town. And then he steals Sonia when she goes to save them. But they get away through the clever use of blueberries, and everybody becomes purple. So, as a colorblind person, I can appreciate part of this. But not all of it. But no, it was good and it was cute, and I'm actually going to play the little Sonia board game in there that Bella and I will be playing. My 8-year-old and I will be playing this, so that'll be fun. Superior Spider-Man team up. Somebody. It was the goblins. Shh! Don't tell anyone. Breaks into the fortress on Spider Island and steals all the weaponry that Ox Spidey has confiscated from villains. And Punisher and Daredevil are looking into stopping this, and of course Spidey's all, no way did anybody break into the, holy shit, my vault is empty. It's good. It's really like a last throw of get some more people to meet Superior Spider-Man before he stops being the Superior Spider-Man kind of thing. And yeah, I've been liking the Superior Spidey story, so it's been good. Superior Spidey team up is always fun. Earth 2 Annual. Dun 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 dun. Shocking origin of Batman revealed. Not so shocking as the identity because Diamond already told us. But, alright, Thomas Wayne. But not brother Thomas Wayne. Father Thomas Wayne. Oh, what's this? And we get the full origin of what happened, and we find out that the Waynes did not come up through old money. Well, they did. Or Thomas Wayne did, but he met Martha through, what the hell's that gangster they're always, why do I never remember names? Frankie Falcone, alright, that gangster, the only gangster anybody ever knows in Gotham. Apparently he was buddies with little Tommy Wayne, young Tommy Wayne, alright, before he became Tom, and then he said, look, I got a kid now, I gotta go legit, and that caused some tension. But, yeah, I was worried because this was my the Earth 2 stuff. While I really miss the JSA, the Earth 2 stuff has been some of the better done New 52 books. So when what's his name, Tom Taylor over there took over when Robinson left, I was concerned. But no, it's good. It was a nice smooth transition, and it's good. So yeah, read those. Just très bien. Speaking of Earth 2. First Contact Prelude, Huntress and Power Girl, World's Finest Annual, #1. It's Robin and Supergirl, aka Power Girl and Huntress before they came to our world, in their early adventures. It's like, look at this. We get the first Robin adventures of Two Worlds. Woo! It actually sounds like a title they'd have on like an old 70s DC book. But they go out and they come across Fury, Wonder Woman's apocalyptian possessed daughter. Well, not really possessed, but kind of apocalyptian brainwashed daughter. But, you know, they can apparently brainwash anybody since Supes isn't doing so good in Earth 2 at the moment. But, yeah, so Wonder Woman takes them on because she's defending her kid and they don't know what's going on. And it was a good story. You know, it's Paul Levitz. So Paul Levitz can write comic books. We know this. This is established. This is a good one. It's très bien. Peter Tomasi and Doug Monk. Every time you start to get over it, this pair in particular, Tomasi and Monk, will punch you in the face and crush your soul over young Damien. And they do it splendidly. This is bookended by a flashback to Nightwing and Damien sitting around, and you know, they're talking, and Nightwing starts trying to tell him he tells him the story of the first time he was Robin, and it kind of sticks with Damien because in the present day, Bruce finds something that Damien had left for Dick, and Bruce is like, "What did you tell him that, you know, stuck with him?" So then Dick recounts the story the way he told it to Damien, and then you just get this ending moment, and it's just, I miss Damien, and I hope they, I hope they bring him back somehow or something. But you know, whatever. Superior Spider-Man 26. It's the Goblin War is really about to get it's about to get serious, and we've got Green Goblin versus Hobgoblin, and a possible reveal as to who this Green Goblin is. But because he never actually takes the mask off, and it's Dan Slott who likes to do the little, "What do you think I'm doing? What do you think I'm doing? What do you think I'm doing?" No, I'm not doing that. I'm not ready to jump on and say I know who Green Goblin is yet, because Dan Slott keeps taking me by surprise. Hell, he made me like this. Hell, he made me read Spider-Man after Brand New Day, One More Day, No More Days. What a beautiful day in the neighborhood. Whatever the hell days they were coming up with.
Things that should not have happened.
Yeah, before that which shall not be mentioned. So we got the Avengers, and they keep falling short. That's one of the things one of the few disappointments I have is people keep going, you know, "Hey, now we're really sure that you're not, something's up with you, Spider-Man. You're not what you're saying you are. But we're just going to talk to you about it. We're not really just going to apprehend you and do a big check. Nah. We're just going to really talk to you about it until you jump out a window. And then we'll go, huh, there he goes." So, really? Just grab that mofo. Adventures of Superman #9. Christos Gage. We already know I love Christos Gage, right? We've established this. All right? I don't know who Eduardo Francisco is, but I like him. He's the artist. This is a heartbreaking story of Bizarro. Bizarro stories tend to go three ways. They tend to be either really like surreal and twisted, really heartbreaking, or crap if whoever tries to write a Bizarro story just doesn't get it. This goes the touching, heartbreaking way. It gets a little surreal, but Bizarro has his moment of clarity, and somehow that's more tragic for Bizarro than anything else. And we get a Bizarro world origin. Of course, it's all non-canon. You know, New 52 has its own Bizarro, and I actually kind of like him. But the fact that they don't show him on those, you know, they've got Lex joining the Justice League and no Bizarro standing around, makes me feel bad already. That I think there's going to be yet another tragic. But they like to do those tragic Bizarro stories. Ghostbusters number 12. Happy Horror Days, Part 4. It's Boogeyman. And the art is gorgeous, and they're getting ready for Ghostbusters Mass Hysteria, because it's the 30th anniversary of Ghostbusters. So, woohoo! I'm old. But yeah, the art in this is gorgeous. The stories in this are great. The Dan Schoening, if Dan Schoening should never ever leave this book. He did for a little bit. They had to fill in, and I was not happy. I was not happy. Plus, it's not fair to whoever fills in, because whoever fills in is by default not Dan Schoening. So therefore, they're yes. You don't want to be in that shadow. Not on this book. You don't want to be there. You know. So keep him on, and make this is just great. Read that. Jonah Hex meets Superman, and it doesn't go like you think. Superman is a lot nicer to Jonah Hex than one would expect Superman to be. Jonah Hex has a really miserable day in our present time period. Oh, damn! We don't really have a stand. Shout out to Peter Palmiani again. In fact, I'm gonna have a mini conversation. Rest of you, sorry. Yeah, I didn't have anything around, and I didn't think to try and jury rig something like I was gonna. Peter had suggested that since I don't have a table or a co-host, that I could set the books up closer so you guys can see them better. And I thought that was a great idea, and didn't find anything, and then wanted to set something up and totally forgot about trying to set something up until this minute. So maybe next week. Ideas noted. Good idea. I, however, am useless. Dave is nodding. You can't see the magic cameraman behind the camera, but he is nodding consent and giving me the thumbs up of uselessness. So there's a Palmiotti connection. Got things going in my head there. But yeah, Hex has a really bad day. Really bad day. It's amazing what they'll keep in a museum. And if you're from the past and come and find out what they've got in there, that's horrible. Plus, probably something Jonah didn't have to think of back in his old Western days. Drinking and driving. It's a lot more dangerous if you have a motorcycle than a horse. And yeah, so some problems for Hex and his love life. But this book continues. This is the book you don't think of in the New 52, and you should. Especially for this run. It's just been, Palmiotti and Gray tour the New 52, and that's just awesome. Saga number 18. I won't say that it's happy, but I will say that it was less sad than it could have been. And no matter how many favorite characters they kill, you know that what's going to upset fans more than that is the possibly permanent injury that our cover character of Lion Cat suffers. Because if someone says to you Lion Cat is not there, if you ask someone who's your favorite character in Brian K. Vaughan's saga, Brian K. Vaughan and Fiona Staples saga, if they say anyone to you other than Lion Cat, your response to them is lying. Because they forget Lion Cat is a cat, so therefore you don't immediately think of Lion Cat as a character. You think of it as a pet to a character. But no, Lion Cat is everybody's favorite character. I don't care who you. Immediately followed by I'm gonna say immediately followed by Isabel, the floating torso babysitter ghost. Then Stog, then the Will. Then eventually we actually get down to main characters. So damn good. Just read it. I'm not going to bother trying to explain it to you because you need to read it. Saviors #2 by James Robinson and J. Bone. Black and white goodness. This is the story of people who stumble across the fact that aliens are among us. Not good way like Men in Black aliens, but like holy shit, invasion-y kind of aliens. Yeah, V kind of aliens. So complications ensue, and of course naturally you try and warn anybody. There's aliens among us. They think you're crazy. So Inhumanity #2. The Inhumans are great characters, but I think there's a reason that they don't have, they don't have like long-running, ongoing titles. Inhumanity is good, and it's Fraction, and it's got Bradshaw on art, so it's all it's gorgeous. Bradshaw sort of changed this. It's almost like a style change up here a little bit. I don't know how to explain it. Oh, okay. Well, there's Todd Knock in there as well, but even Bradshaw, the Bradshaw pages. There's a couple of things going on this. Bradshaw with Todd Knock, and then inked by like 11 different people. But so yeah, maybe it's just the varying inkers, and then the Todd Knock pages. Todd Knock makes me happy. But it's good. But there's something, I don't know what it is, and this is just a me thing. Or maybe it's not, because again, this is why the Inhumans don't have long-running series. I couldn't stay interested. The writing was fine, the art was gorgeous. I couldn't stay interested because it's the Inhumans, and they're great. They're great guest stars. They're great plot centers, plot devices, plot points.
Not leading role.
Yeah, they're not. They're like bridesmaids. They're never the bride. They're not. I don't know. They're the Inhumans. The mutants? No, not really. They're aliens? Not exactly. They're human? No, they're inhuman. They're interesting? Yeah. They're cool? Hells yeah. They should have their own book? No, not really. We should make a whole bunch more of them all across the planet, and no, we've never found a solid niche for all the ones we've created. Now we'll make more. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm not sure I do. Guardians of the Galaxy, really, really good. Is fun. So far, we've had 2 parts of the Trial of Phoenix that have been no part of the Trial of Phoenix. They're really preludes to Trial of Phoenix. This ends squarely. They're both caught up now. This ends with the same moment that the all-new X-Men ended with. It's a lot of fun. I love this book. I'm loving Bendis at the moment. It's Sarah Piccione artwork. But I don't know. It seems, I don't know why they need another trial of Jean Grey. Even the characters discuss it in there, but it's she had a trial, and this Jean Grey never even was Phoenix. And technically, if you're going to come after Phoenix hosts, there were 5 other people on the planet who just held Phoenix. This girl never did. So they're holding her on a trial for a crime she hasn't done yet.
Potentially may not.
Potentially might not ever, and a whole bunch of other people are just as guilty of, more guilty of, actually guilty of, and we're ignoring them. So I don't, it just seems like...
Does she know we're bored?
It's like they already found the loophole. We're not bringing Jean Grey back from the dead, but due to the time travel thing, we've got Jean Grey back. We're not going to do another Phoenix saga because we just did a Phoenix story, but we're going to do a trial. So it's like we've got Jean Grey and we've got Phoenix without getting Jean Grey and Phoenix, and it just seems like it seems a little contrived, is what I'm saying to you. Cataclysm, Ultimate's Last Stand. Look at this. The Ultimate Captain America now looks more like Captain America, whereas the mainstream Marvel Universe Captain America looks more Ultimate Captain America. That's my review for that. The book is good. It's okay. There's a lot of it's Bendis and Bagley in the Ultimate Universe. Hey, that sounds like how the Ultimate Universe got started. Hey, it is. It's like their swan song to the Ultimate Universe. Like, all right. Except for, Bendis is like, nobody gets Spider-Man but me, because, and Bendis is writing the hell out of that. Miles Morales Spider-Man is so awesome. But, I digress. This here, they come up with a major plan that Kitty might not survive, but we've already seen in the teaser releases that while it looks like the Ultimates are all going to bite it, Kitty is alive in the new run of books. So, the only person I'm not afraid of, afraid of the fate of, is the one person who they're acting like, she might not survive. Probably not. This is a sacrifice play. It's like, she's on the cover. You've already teased her as a lineup of the all-new Ultimates. So, I'm not worried for her. Apparently the safest thing you can do in this universe is go toe-to-toe with Galactus. So, who knew? Superman by Lobdell and Ed Benes. I really liked the art. Teen Titans by Lobdell and Tyler Kirkham and Art Thibert. I really liked the art.
You have monthly self-flagellation.
I don't know why I keep reading it. I dropped the book, but I read it for the reviews. I cause myself emotional pain and distress for you, all three viewers. Yeah, let's not dwell on the past. Aquaman is okay. It's not as great as it used to be. Paul Pelletier is still awesome, but he doesn't draw all the pages. The other pages are good, but they're not great. And I just don't know. Not quite giving up hope. And I'm really looking forward to Aquaman and the others, but that's a different book, and it's got my favorite character in the whole new 52. Prisoner of War. Army of Darkness versus Hack Slash, or Hack and Ash. Ash is totally in love with Cassie Hack. It doesn't go great for him. And Cassie has an encounter with the men who would eventually kill, because it's a time travel-y thing, but she meets the guy who kills Slash before he's even met, much less killed Slash. So she's trying to get revenge from before something happens, but that'll mess with time. Let's just say this has gotten so... The disaster has turned to a point where Ash has become the reasonable one. So you know things aren't going well. It's good, it's fun. You know you like Cass, you know you like Hack and Slash, and you know you like Army of Darkness. Or you don't like those things and then skip this. But if you like either of those things, this is good. If you like both of those things, then this is awesome. Shadow Year 1, Matt Wagner's Shadow Year 1 continues to be one of my favorite Dynamite books because Wilfredo Torres. This, I tell you every time, it's like Shadow the Animated Series. It's gorgeous. It's almost, and not even just like animated, it's almost like Shadow the Animated Series if the animation was kind of, Torres has that Jeff Smith feel. It's like, it's like if you had an animated series of the Shadow written by Matt Wagner with art by someone who's got a Jeff Smith kind of style. Really, what's not to love? Smallville, Season 11 special. Titans. Let me show you something. Titans. Teen Titans. This book equals not good. This book equals great comparatively. Still not the Titans we all know and love, but within this universe, Brian Q. Miller has managed to create a Titans that is both immediately recognizable to Titans fans and is like 11 and a half tips of the hat to Young Justice, while still appeasing, if you're a Smallville fan, great. If you're not a Smallville fan, you're a Titans fan, good. If you are a Young Justice fan, surprise, you've got quote-unquote live-action Young Justice happening in there. You've got Beetle, they've introduced Miss Martian, they've got Azan and Jaina, they've got freaking Ravager shows up. It is the Brian Q. Miller in this book does what Jeff Johns originally did when he before they knew 52, the whole DCU. He takes a little bit of all the varying continuities and storylines, merges them together in a way that gives you something for fans of every era and incarnation. All right? Which, if they had just done that with the new 52, it could have been great, but they didn't. They said, fuck every incarnation, we're going to make our own, and half of them were changes that really was just somebody going, look what I can do! I get to start it over! And that's how you end up with this, okay? But this is amalgamation, reinvention done right, just to prove it can be done. It can be, even with the same concept, directions, good. What the hell? All right. Talon number 15 falls in the what the hell category. Marguerite Bennett and Jorge Lucas. Not to be confused with George Lucas. Art-wise, very strong, very nice, very dark. Story-wise, very nothing happening, and very, I mean, we're flashing back to, you know, origin, I forget it, it's like the 20s or something. It's a, you got like 20 years ago and 40 years ago, and you've got sort of origins of two different Talons going on, and then it's just, I don't know. It seems unnecessary. I mean, the book is ending, so I'm going to stick with it to get to my last issue and have my complete set, because I've loved Talon up to now, but this isn't really doing much for me. Critter number 18. Big storyline is over, and now we're into the new direction for Critter. We've got the return of Son of a Gun. He's the son of a Cold War spy, and he's like the deadly assassin. He's like the Big Dog Inc. universe Deadshot, and they even managed to tie in. There's no Super Pawn backup story in this issue, but the gun that was Son of a Gun's father's favorite gun ends up in a pawn shop, and it's Super Pawn. So he ends up going. You know, you still get your 2 pages of Super Pawn. It's just like possibly 3 now. It's just you know, you've actually got Son of a Gun going in there and getting his damn gun back. So that was a clever little splice and dice that they did there. I love this book. I mean, I love this book and this writer enough that I've twice now lent him one of my characters, and I'm honored that he used her. So you can't give a bigger thumbs up to a comic book than to say I loved it enough to let one of my characters go play in there. So you should be reading it. The Bounce number 9 is starting to make sense to me. Possibly because I feel like I read number 8 and number 9 closer together than I usually feel like I've read Bounce issues. Next issue cover is kind of like an homage. It's a Bounce no more. But yeah, you've got an explanation of, at least partial explanation of the time travel, dimension hopping that's been going on, and the major badass proves why he's a major badass. And what's nice about only feeling like I was just starting to catch on to what's happening is that so is our title character. The Bounce is only just starting to get an inkling of what the hell is happening, and that makes me feel, well, if he doesn't get it and it's his book, then I'm okay. Clone number 14. So good. You should be totally reading the series. I don't know how else to tell you that. This is one of the great. Image just does these great books lately. I mean, I guess they always have, but there are more and more, it feels like, coming out. The clones have met the other set of clones and find out about a clone island, and the complications arise. But it's it ties up so many plot lines and emotional threads of what's been happening up till now, and then sets you up for the next big series of twists. Somebody goes out on their own, and everyone else sort of comes together, and a handful of people, their fates are kind of up in the air post this, and we get a great moment of Luke and his wife having this kind of what's important to them get back, because it's been just run from issue 1, and they're finally having a moment to kind of, you're doing what, I'm doing what are we doing, why are we doing it, this is working or it isn't, kind of deal. Devil's Due. Mercy Sparks number 4. Blaylock and Murhoff. I love Mercy Sparks. That is all you need to know. And Matt Murhoff's art is gorgeous. Okay, this guy, he can draw, and he can draw women, and there's a lot of them in here, and you know, you thought Victoria's Secret had angels. There's an angel.
Ooh.
Not safe for work, unless you work at Victoria's Secret or a brothel or maybe heaven, because it's an angel. You know, all those cheesy pickup lines. Heaven must be missing an angel because here you are. No, they actually are, and they've sent Mercy and her little sidekick buddy to bring her back. But it doesn't go well, as you can imagine. There's a special kind of caters to all the sick and twisted brothel, and they have you know, they have everything, angels, demons, whatever, you know, and they've been sent to rescue these two. Only a little bit of Stockholm, a little bit of addiction, and suddenly the rescuees don't want to be so rescued, and the rescuers need rescuing of their own. Really well done, and I mean, it's not. It'd be so easy to just say, "Oh, this is just you know, TNA and male, you know, almost male masturbatory fantasy." But there's a story. There's a great story. There's humor, and yeah, it's sexy, but that's part of the story, and not just. It's not like it's just thrown in there for, you know what? I think we're losing the viewers, you know, attention span. Quick, boobies. You know, it's not. You know, it's not like, you know. And every time we tell exposition in Game of Thrones, we should have naked women walking back and forth. You know, all exposition will be discussed only in the whorehouse, so that while people are going, "Oh, what's happening?" You know, there's someone humping in the back. You know, you know, it's not just gratuitous, and it's not a diss on Game of Thrones. I love Game of Thrones, even if it is gratuitous. The hell with it, I'm in. I read the books and I had to picture gratuity on my own. So it's nice when the gratuity's on TV and I can just say,
Just enjoy it.
that's good. That's, you know, that'd be awesome if, you know, people always say, "Oh, the book was so much better." There's people sitting there and I go, "Nah, man, that girl, I masturbated 50 times to the character in the book the way I pictured her, but she doesn't do anything for me." You know, just, I'd like to see that chat room. You know, I pictured more boobs. I don't know, it's falling short. That probably is a chat room right now. It's got all that. It's been up there since the season 1. Never Ending is a lie, because this is the last issue. This is a 3-issue miniseries. Fooled me. But it was good. I like this was a Superman character who wanted to die, and in the end he doesn't. All that ends up happening is he gets stripped of his power. Very Superman 2, where he's stripped of his power, only to then have shit happen that needs him, and he's got no powers. So what does he do? He steps up, and he actually ends up his arch nemesis. You know, like Lex has the power suit. Well, it ends with much potential. I'm hoping they do some more. They could keep going. It's called Never Ending. They could always do more miniseries. But he ends up having to go. He is now a normal man. Goes and gets his arch enemy's battle armor, and is going to face the threat the only way he can. And then also realizing that in his getting lost, in his wanting to die as his family aged around him, he's still got grandkids out there, and he's like, you know, I failed you guys. I wasn't there for you. I was so busy caught up in what I'd and the grandkids understand, but he's like, no, really, I should have been here. I was so caught up in what I'd lost, I didn't even think about what I still had. And now I see it. Now I get it. So it's that, you know, that irony of longing to die so long, and then finally being set in a position where, you know, you've been immortal your whole life. You're finally mortal and able to die, and now you realize what it is you have to live for. And that's, you know, while it's not the least common, you know, while we've seen that kind of thing before, it's still, you know, it's still deep and can be done entertainingly, and I think this did a good job. Red Lanterns, number 27. I'm gonna get it signed by Charles Soule. 'cause I'm gonna leave it in the mailbox for my friend Joe, who's gonna go to a comic shop on February 8th and get it signed. There's a free plug for Aaron, for all 3 people who watched long enough into the show to see that. But anywho, yeah, Charles Soule, Alessandro City, and Jim Calafiore. Really, really good. Guy comes to Earth. Somehow, only Charles Soule could do this. Only Charles Soule could find a way of making the Red Lantern ring become more cathartic. You work through your rage. You're now still able to be enraged at, the indignities of life and the injustices, but it becomes more cathartic. They're not just monsters anymore. The Red Lanterns, it's cathartic. Guy, while on the cover he looks normal, in the comic, you can see, guy on the cover. Now inside, all right, let's show you where's a good picture of the new Guy Gardner look. Do they have a nice close-up when he's got like kind of longer shaggy hair and like a 70s biker mustache. He looks, here you go. Just any part of that page right there. Just go along the one side. There's like 3 great panels of his face there. That's new Red Lantern Guy. And it's been good for him. It's been cathartic. He's explaining this to Ice. He's like, look, I know, we ended things badly. And, and she's like, wait, it's like, he explains he's a Red Lantern now, and she's like, so you gave in to rage? Our problems were always that you were too angry and you were mad at everything and didn't know how to deal with it. Now you're saying you gave yourself into rage and that's going to help? And he goes, no, it's been good. I'm channeling the rage. I'm past the rage. He compares it to like an alcoholic taking a dive into a swimming pool full of beer. He goes, I dove in. He goes, but I didn't drink. And she's like, you gave up drinking? He's like, no, I still do that. It's just, I mean that the rate, I'm past just being angry all the time. I can control the anger. I've used the anger. So that, it is really good. I am curious. The next issue starts the Supergirl crossover, where Supergirl becomes a Red Lantern. And I don't think they're going to keep Supergirl permanently a Red Lantern. But since part of Guy's problem is he can't, the Red Lantern fills you so full of rage that you become full of and you can't live without the ring. And you need a Blue Lantern to show you hope and remove that's what cures you from the Red Lantern. You can go back to normal. But the Blue Lanterns have all, have been destroyed, and what's his face, Saint Walker has been having a rough time of it over in Green Lantern. So I don't know who the hell's going to be there to I want to know what loophole they're going to have to un-Red Lanternize her with that, while still explaining why Guy can't, unless they just say, look, guy's good with this now. This is Guy Gardner. Which at first I was like, this will be interesting, but I really want Guy to be a Green Lantern again. But I think I could live with Guy the Red Lantern, at least as long as if Charles Soule ever leads this book, get Guy Gardner the hell out of it. But for right now, I'm good. All right, Serenity, Leaves on the Wind. It's so good. It's Zach Whedon, all right, and George Genti. So you've got, a Whedon, and you've got George Genti. He did all, he did a whole bunch of Buffy stuff. So it's all in that same vein. It's so well done. It's like it picks up. Just go watch the movie Serenity, okay. Rewatch Firefly by all means, but if you watch Serenity, this is next step. Not like immediately, they've been out for a time, but it picks up right from there and has the whole they revealed the story of the planet Miranda and the tragedy that went on there and the cover-up that went on there, and it's the rest of the world either believing it or thinking it's a conspiracy theory and that these people are either heroes or terrorists or lunatics, and everyone is on the hunt for them, but the crew is in hiding until Wash's baby is born. There's no well, we see Wash. She sees Wash in a kind of a flashbacky, not quite dream sequence as it was, but But yeah, so Zoe kind of sees him, and he gets to read it, and she's like, "Don't you do it?" He goes, "You know what I'm going to say," and he repeats. You have a couple of times where the leaves on the wind is mentioned. Plus, you have some returns of some other characters from the series and the show and the movie, and it's good. It's good. You know, not just the main guys, obviously, but there is one person in particular. I don't want to spoil it, but I'm gonna. Okay, fine. That was your spoiler window. What the hell's his name? Early. What's Early's first name? The kind of bounty hunter guy. Jubal Early is back, and I love him. I love that actor. I just love his voice and his way of speaking. Even on old Law and Order. So good, and so hits all the right notes. It's really, you know, you get all those things. It's like, you know, this is the, or they call the comic season whatever, and it picks up with. But this literally felt like, you know, like I just watched my Firefly discs, watched Serenity, and then picked this up and was right there going, okay, boom, 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 boom. So good. We got 2 trades for you from Xenoscope. We got Screwed, Project Frankenstein by Tyler Kirkham. All right, so David Miller does the artwork, Tyler Kirkham does the writing. It's a Frankenstein woman. She's kind of a piecework. Her memory is piecework, and her body is piecework. And there's, you know, serial killings, and it all ties in to the Xenoscope twist on the Frankenstein mythos. So it's good. The art is good. The story is good. This is one of the trades that I was very happy to get. Along with, I reviewed the last issue, either last episode or the episode before. Here's the Realm Knights trade. Celia Mathers, the Snow Whitey librarian. Robin Hood, Red Riding Hood. Captain Hook, they call him. Nathan Cross is his name. And the steampunk Van Helsing. And of course the god Neptune. All fighting against Cronus, the Titan, who's trying to come back and just really mess up the world. And it was a good story. It was a great. It's kind of like the Realm Knights is kind of the Xenoscope Avengers. All right, so beautiful little trade. I believe this was 4 issues and this was 6. So 2 nice little trades there. $15.99 and $15.99. So look at that. That's not, as trades go, that's not too shabby. And that, my friends, is that for this week. Remember, giant power droid. Peace.